All right, so over the last 4 months of this class, I would say there's probably a good three things over all of the content that we have gone over that really stuck with me, and I feel like have made me a better communicator so far, at least to my knowledge. And so, what those are, those three things I would say that stuck with me the most are my ability to perceive information before I enter a situation, gathering and using information to go into a situation or like in a situation. And I know perceiving kind of goes along with that, but there's kind of two different things that I've like noticed I've picked up on. And the last thing would probably be my ability to work in groups or with in like team settings, I would say. So perception, how it's affected me, I would say. So perception, like while communicating, is very important. It allows for us to interpret the situation that we're going into or that we're already in. Um, and specifically, I think in chapter 2.2, it said the perception process is laid out as selection, organization, and interpretation. It's described the selection is sorting stimuli from each other. So, like selective exposure as to attention, like they mean the same thing, but like they also could mean different things based upon the situation. So you kind of perceive that. Um, Organizing the categories, for example, like closure as to proximity. The same thing goes with that. And then stimulation, which is assigning meaning to stimuli, such as like based on past experiences, and then like based on recent events. It's like the same thing, but like then again, like on the situation, it could mean a different thing. And then so the second thing that I said was the use of gathering and using information. I think this is very important in becoming a very good communicator, and I feel like it's has helped me so far over these last 4 months. I've really seen an improvement in that. So the ability to obtain information about a situation before entering the situation, that was defined in I think chapter 8.2, if I'm not wrong. And so in the reading, it said there's the 5 steps when gathering information, and that is determining the author, the publishing body, so like where it was published on, and um, how current it is. So if it's like from like today or like 10 years ago or 30 years ago, how relevant it's going to be to what you guys are talking about. The purpose of it and how it adds up to other sources similar to it. So basically, how it compares to other sources you could have used. And then, so with the addition of social media, our source range has become a lot greater, and so that's really important for like my generation. I know it's important for everyone because my generation's not the only one that uses social media, but we're kind of the ones that have grown up with it the most, and so I feel like it's gonna impact us more than it would. I wouldn't say the generation above us, but the generation above them, and kind of so forth. And so the final skill that I stated was the ability to communicate in a team setting or in groups, which I believe is very important because in the workforce or after college or high school, you're going to be working with people, and how you communicate with them to solve problems or that kind of thing, it's going to be really important. And so I feel like being able to do that effectively is pretty important. This So the reading states that there are a few different types of groups. Those are primary and secondary groups. So primary groups are like our social groups that we feel like we have to achieve something in order to belong to it. And so I relate that kind of towards like your group of friends. Like I know you don't necessarily have to, because they're your friends, but you don't really have to feel like you don't have to do something initially to feel like you belong with them. But like over time, or I reverse that. You might feel like you have to do something to belong with them initially, and then you it kind of goes from there. And then secondary groups are groups that form in order to solve a problem. So like that would be like more of the work environment kind of thing that you have all come together with the goal of solving whatever the problem is, or you set a goal and you as the group go out to achieve it. So at the end of the day, those are the three things that I feel have impacted me the most in my ability to communicate, and I feel like I've grown greatly in those areas, and I know I still have plenty of room to become a better communicator because we've also gone over a lot of other content. But those are the three that really stood out to me that I feel that I exceeded in, or not exceeded in, but have grown in over these last 4 months, and I think they'll help me continue to improve my communication skills as my career goes on, or I guess it starts. So